$91,000 cheaper than the Denver metro median, and homes that are still selling in 27 days. Now, if that got your attention, stick around because today we're doing a deep dive into Aurora, Colorado real estate market for May of 2026. Now, every number you're about to hear comes straight from InfoSparks. Now, that's provided by RE Colorado, which is the MLS data that real estate professionals use every single day. So we're going to break this down by property type: single family homes, townhomes, and then condominiums. So no matter what you're shopping for, you'll know exactly what the market looks like right now. So let's go ahead, let's get into it, right? All right, now before we get into the individual property types, let's set the stage with a big picture look at Aurora, Colorado right now. So Aurora is Colorado's third largest city. It sits right next to Denver, so you have the same access to jobs, same access to restaurants, highways, and of course the Rocky Mountains, but at a significantly lower price point. And that gap is actually one of the most important stories in this market right now. So the overall Denver metro median sale price in May of 2026 was $610,000. Aurora's median price across all property types is well below that. So for buyers who've been priced out of Denver proper, Aurora absolutely deserves a serious look. So let's go ahead and break this down by property type. And let's start with single family homes. Now, this is the most searched and it's the most competitive segment of the entire Aurora market. So the median priced closed price for a single family home in Aurora in May of 2026 was $518,990. Okay. That's down 2.1% from this time last year. And compared to the Denver metro median of $610,000, you're looking at a $91,000 price difference. That's $91,000 in savings for a single family home in Aurora. So now let's talk about how fast these homes are moving. All right. So the median days on market for Aurora single family homes, there was around 27 days in the month of May. Now that's up 12.5% from last year, meaning homes are sitting a little longer than they used to be. But 27 days, that's still fast. I mean, I tell all my sellers that if we can get your home sold in under 30 days, we're doing good in this market. But this is not a market where, homes, overall are just sitting forever and ever and ever. So when we ask about supply, well, we have, listings in Aurora, new listings in Aurora for single family homes came in at 5,154. Now that's down 5.5% year over year. So the entire MLS for the rest of the Denver area saw 74,639 new single family homes or single family listings. Now that's down just 0.5%. So Aurora is actually seeing a steeper drop in new listings than the broader market. So fewer homes coming to market means less competition for sellers, but it also means that buyers have fewer options to choose from. And now when we talk about closed sales, 1,020 single family homes that were closed in Aurora in May. Now that's essentially flat year over year. So what does this all mean, all this data, if you're looking for a single family home in Aurora, Colorado? Well, it's still pretty much a buyer's market, but it's getting balanced. And so, prices are softer. Sellers are negotiating. Inspections are back. And quite frankly, inspections should never go away. If you're a buyer and I'm representing you, we're going to get an inspection. But homes are still moving in under 30 days. So if you find something that you love, don't wait too long on that. All right. The single family segment is the most stable of the three property types that we're covering today. So if you want the most predictable, proven investment in Aurora right now, this is it. All right, so let's talk about townhomes. And this is where things get really interesting for buyers because the median priced townhome for Aurora in May of 2026 was $370,000. And that's down 7% from this time last year. And the entire MLS townhome median is $450,000, meaning Aurora townhomes are coming in $80,000 below the broader market. So if a single family home feels a little bit out of reach, maybe a townhome in Aurora, that might be your sweet spot. But here's what else that the data is telling us. Days on market for Aurora townhomes, that hit 35 days in May. Now that's up a significant 40% from last year. So this is the steepest increase in days on market of any of the property types that we're looking at here today. All right, so townhomes, they are sitting just a little bit longer and buyers are are being selective, and sellers, well, they're feeling it because closed sales came in at 766. That's down 18.1% year over year, and that's a notable drop. And new listings, that fell 16.5% to 1,127. So you got fewer homes that are coming to market, but fewer are also selling. So active listings, they're up 11.5% to 252. So inventory is building. And so now, what do all these numbers mean for townhome buyers? Well, it means as a buyer, you have real leverage because townhome prices are down 7%. Townhomes are sitting a little bit longer, and sellers are absolutely motivated. So this is the segment where, a buyer who's prepared and they're pre-approved, they can walk in and they can absolutely negotiate and get a good deal. But the caveat, and this is important, okay, and this is going to apply to condominiums when we talk about that as well. Make sure that you do your homework on HOA fees and insurance costs before really moving forward with an offer, because statewide HOA dues, fees, and insurance premiums, they have been rising sharply, and that directly affects your monthly payment. So we want to ask for 12 months of the HOA financials before we close. All right, so when we look at this is very important to look at those HOA fees. Now, let's go ahead and talk about condominiums. And I want to be straight with you here because the condo market tells a very specific story right now. The median closed price for an Aurora condominium in May of 2026 was $260,000. Now, that's down 7.1% from last year. Now, the entire MLS condominium median is $342,000. So Aurora condominiums are coming in $82,000 below the broader condo market. At $260,000, Aurora condos represent the most affordable entry point into homeownership in this market. But let's look at the full picture. Days on market for Aurora condominiums, 43 days. Now that's up 26.5% from last year. Now that's the longest of any of the property types that we've covered today. Closed sales, they came in at 806. That's down 6.6% year over year. New listings, they dropped 8.4% to 1,492, but active listings, they're up 7.6% to 425, meaning that supply is growing while demand is softening. So why are condos sitting a little bit longer and selling for less? Well, there's a few reasons. First off, interest rates. Interest rates are making monthly payments more expensive across the board. And condominium buyers tend to be first-time home buyers who are probably the most payment-sensitive segment of the market. Now, second, those HOA fees. The same HOA I was talking about with townhomes applies here too. HOA fees and insurance premiums, they're hitting condominium buyers especially hard right now. A condo listed at $260,000 might look affordable, and it is. But then, of course, you add the HOA fees, which could be $400 to $500 a month, and that's on top of your mortgage payment. So that's a conversation that you have to have, up front with your lender. Know what you can afford in terms of your monthly payments. Third, lender requirements for condominiums and condo financing, it can be a little bit stricter than, say, for single family homes, because some condominium buildings, they have issues with reserve funds or owner occupancy ratios that will affect your ability to get a conventional loan. So if you're shopping for a condo, we're going to work together. We're going to make sure we look at the right one, the right condominium complex for you. And see, this type of due diligence, it can save you a lot of frustration. Now, here's the question. Is a condo a bad purchase? Is it a bad buy right now? Not necessarily, because at $260,000 with the median, average there, the prices are down 7%, and homes, condominiums sitting for 43 days. There's a real opportunity, for the right buyer. And so if you're a first-time home buyer, maybe you're an investor, maybe you're someone looking to get into the market at the lowest possible price point, an Aurora condominium can absolutely make sense. You just want to go in with your eyes wide open, make sure you understand the HOA fees, understand what those fees encompass in terms of amenities. You'll be all right. All right, so let's bring all this together. Single family homes, the median price is $518,990. That's down 2.1%, and they're selling in around 27 days. It represents a stable, balanced market there for single family, but they're still moving fast. They're best for buyers who want the most predictable investment. As for townhomes, the median price is $370,000, down 7%, selling in around 35 days. This represents the most negotiating leverage of the three segments, but watch your HOA fees. Likewise, condominiums, the median price is $260,000, down 7.1%, selling in 43 days. The most affordable entry point, but you need due diligence here. Again, like townhomes, let's know the HOA, let's know what the lender requirements are before we go shopping for condominiums. So across all three segments, buyers have more power than they've had in years in Aurora because prices are softer, days on market are up, and sellers are absolutely negotiating. Every buyer I have worked with this year has received seller concessions ranging from $10,000 to $20,000 that they then use to buy down the interest rate. But here's the thing, and I say this with every single buyer that I work with, this window is not going to stay open forever. When interest rates start to come down, demand is going to come rushing back into the market. So keep an eye on the Federal Reserve. That's the most objective advice I can give you, because if they start making cuts, then it will probably affect mortgage interest rates. So buyers that move in this market, they're going to be glad that they did, for sure. So is now a good time to buy in Aurora? Well, based on the data, I'd say yes, especially if you are prepared. And being prepared means a couple things. It means that you've talked with a lender, you've got pre-approved, you know what your numbers are, you know what you want that monthly payment to be, and you stick with it. Know what you can actually afford. Don't get caught going too high. I don't want you to be house poor. I want this to be a fun, efficient process. Then we go out and we find your home. Hey, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, because we've got a lot more Colorado market content coming your way. And if you're thinking about buying in the Aurora area, reach out to me. I'd love to help you navigate this market. Hey, I'm Dave Michael. I am the House Wrangler with You First Realty. Until next time, happy trails.